Hi, my name is John Cleveland, and this is Sean, and we're going to demonstrate for you all of the techniques for white belt. We're going to demonstrate each technique, and then we're going to give a little tip or help right after. First thing we're going to start with, though, is the stance. The stance that we use for the most part in all of our karate techniques is fighting stance. Let's look at fighting stance. Fighting stance has my feet about a shoulder width apart. My toes are at an angle. You're going to notice I'm facing this way as if my opponent is right in front of me. Sean is facing that direction as if his opponent was right in front of him. And what you're going to notice is that our toes are at an angle and we're facing directly in front. Our hands are up, our guard is up, one hand at the chin, one hand up here right by the chin as well. And we're going to have our knees bent slightly. If we switch, we stay at that angle. Okay? Now what's important is that you don't end up like this, or you don't end up in what we call a side stance, which is another stance we'll get to later on. So we're going to do our techniques from a fighting stance. Let's start with our first one, left side forward, Sean, fighting stance. We're going to do back fist. Let's do back fist. Hup, hup, hup. Switch. Let's talk about back fist real fast. Sean's going to demonstrate by hitting his pad. Sean, show us a couple. Hup, hup. Good. So what you're going to notice is this punch is actually all about Sean's arm. His body doesn't move and add any sort of weight or leverage. There's no pivot to add power. This is just a simple bop on the nose. That's all there is to it. Hup. And the biggest thing you want to remember is just like the punch says, hit with the back of the fist. Let's do jab. Left side forward fighting stance. Let's do jab. Hup, hup, hup. Switch. Hup, hup, hup. Good. All right, let's talk about jab. So Sean's going to demonstrate here. Hup. Good. What you're going to notice is it's good to pretend that there's like a rocket in the back of your elbow. And so it's sending Sean's hand out, and at the very end, he's going to turn that wrist over, and it's going to hit the target. The other thing that happens is Sean's going to pivot his lead foot, so that adds some power and some speed to the technique. There you go again. Perfect. Let's do our last punch. This is called center punch. Right side forward. This one uses our rear hand. Center punch. Switch. Alright, let's talk about center punch. So center punch is right here. Go ahead and switch sides, Sean. Center punch is right here to the middle of the body. And Sean, when he hits, you'll notice that his fist is straight up and down. Not turned sideways, but straight up and down. Awesome. Good. And you're going to notice that when he punches, his rear foot pivots to add that power and that little bit of reach. And you'll notice also that his guard stays right up here in front of his face while he's punching. One more. That's center punch. All right, so now we're going to demonstrate deflecting down block. Deflecting down block. Left side forward, fighting stance. Switch. All right, let's talk about deflecting down block. So Sean's going to block the blocker here. He's pretending that this is a punch or a kick coming at his center of his body. Now what he's trying to do is not push the kick away, but deflect it away, okay? Which means as he comes down, he's going to stop just past his leg. He doesn't want to go any further, because the further he goes, the more exposed he is, okay? Again, let's demonstrate. Good. Excellent. All right, here we go. Let's do front kick. Left side forward fighting stance. Front kick, lead foot. Switch. All right, let's talk about front kick. Sean's going to demonstrate this. Now with the lead foot, this is maybe the trickiest kick in white belt, front kick lead foot. Because when he chambers his kick, he's going to pick up his knee, go ahead, and you're going to notice that when he does that, his body, put it back down one more time, Sean, his body, his shoulders actually turns and he squares up. So he goes from this to this as he brings that knee up. And that's a really important thing to remember, is that you want to have your shoulders square, straight, when you do a front kick off the lead foot. Then he's going to kick, he's going to hit with the ball of that foot. Good control. Put that back down. One more. Awesome. One more. Good stuff. All right. Front kick rear foot. A little bit easier. Switch. Very good. All right, Sean, let's look at this one. Really, it's the same thing as front kick lead. It's just easier because now he doesn't need to straighten up his back. It's automatically going to happen as he chambers and as he kicks. You're going to notice also that Sean's pointing his foot, but pulling his toes back to hit with the ball of the foot at the target. Perfect. Again. Good. That's front kick, rear foot. Last kick. Let's look at side kick. Left side forward, side stance. Side kick. Switch. Good. All right. Let's look at side kick here, Sean. Sean's in a side stance. That means his feet are just side by side, and his shoulders are also side by side while he's facing his target. Okay? When he does a side kick, the chamber is important. Chamber your knee, Sean. You're going to notice when he chambers his knee, his foot is out away from his other leg, and it's bladed. It's ready to hit with the blade, the side of the foot. And he's going to hit right there with the blade of the foot. Going right here, aiming for that target right there. But you could kick to the head if you want to. Let's try it. Ready? Foot down. Again. Perfect. All right. Last technique for white belt is a moving technique. This is how we close the gap. So if Sean wanted to get close to me, he would do a slide with the rear foot, and now he can actually hit me with that side kick. Okay? So we're going to demonstrate that real quick. Here we go. Slide, step, side kick. You're going that way. Ready? Good. Switch. Good. All right, Sean, show us one more time here. Slide, step, side kick. First thing to notice is he moves the rear foot first. Rear foot moves first. It slides up to his lead, then he can do the kick. And when it comes down into a side stance. So he doesn't want to do his kick and then come down to the same spot. He wants to come down to a side stance so he's nice and stable. One more time. Awesome. Very good. Guys, that's all of the techniques for white belt. Practice hard and you're going to do great.